and welcome in exploring the real magical world of science. I'm Subasini, your science mentor, and I'm again here with yet another interesting chapter of science. Yes, before starting, my dear children, you all must be wondering what happened to my hand. Why I have tied this bandage around my hand? Yes, my dear children, yesterday night I got hurt myself. And immediately my mom came and gave me first aid. In case you are wondering what is first aid, you have to be patient. I am going to explain you what is first aid and in this session only. Yes, but before it, we should be aware of what is an accident. Why accidents happen? Yes, accidents can happen anywhere, anytime. Yes or no? Every day, each single day we come across to hear about number of accidents taking place all through the world. Yes or no? Whenever you are going to open the newspaper, you can read number of accidents. Whenever you are going to switch on the news channel, you will be able to listen the number of accidents taking place worldwide, even in your mobile. Yes. So what are these accidents and what are the reasons behind these accidents? Mostly it's all because of our carelessness only. Yes, so it's all because of our carelessness only we come across an accident. We met with an accident. So accidents can happen anywhere. Accidents can happen anywhere, anytime, but without warning. Yes. It can happen anytime, anywhere without warning. And it can be as simple as a tiny scratch and it can be as dreaded as leading to death of the person. Yes, it can be simple as a small tiny wound or a scratch. And it can be very deadly that may lead to the death of the person. So we should keep in our mind that it can be simple and it can be dangerous. Yes, so let's study and let makes us aware about the various reasons for accidents and that can be avoided. Yes, let's see the various reasons, the various causes of accidents. So my dear children, are you all able to see this in the board? Yes, are you all able to see this on the board? Yes, in the middle, I have written the word accidents. Okay, and these are all the reasons for accidents. Yes, so let's discuss one by one reasons for the occurrence of accidents. So the first main reason, the first reasons for accident is while you are in kitchen. Yes, while you are in kitchen and while you are playing or handling a knife or a blade or a scissor, you may cut yourself. If you are not under adult supervision. Yes, you may hurt yourself. You may get cut. Yes, you hurt yourself while handling sharp objects like your knife, blades and scissors. If you are not taking the help of adult, misfortune can happen in the kitchen even. Yes or no? And the second reason for accident is playing with matchsticks or firecrackers. Obviously. Yes, when you are lighting a matchstick or when you are lighting the crackers, especially in the Diwali time, and that too without any adult supervision, there are chances you may get burns. There are very 100% chances if you are not taking the adult supervision while lighting the firecrackers and if any misfortune happens, you may get burns. Yes or no? So while lighting the matchstick or firecrackers, if you are careless, if you are not taking the help of adults, you can meet with an accident. So another reason for accidents are playing with an electric plug or socket or electrical appliances. Yes, sometimes you become very naughty. Yes or no? While when you are going to charge the phone, yes, for a mischievous act, if you are putting your fingers in the electric socket, what will happen? You all know that what will happen. You will get a shock. and will lead to a deadly consequences. Yes, that's very dangerous. So we should be very cautious about handling electrical appliances. Yes or no? You should take the help of adult. So one of the reasons for occurrence of accident is that while handling the electrical appliances. Yes, now let's see another reasons for these accidents is, of course, on the roads. Very obvious things. On roads, if we are not walking carefully, if we are not seeing the front and backs of the road, and if a person is driving carelessly, driving fastly, then definitely he or she can come across an accident. So we should cross the road properly. We should look what is coming in the front, what is there in the behind, and if a person is driving, safe driving should be done. Yes, slow and safe driving should be done. So this can be another reason for the occurrence of accidents. So another reason for accident is, yes, while you are playing. Yes, and when you become naughty, you try to climb the tree and you try to jump from the tree. You may fall on the ground. You may broke your leg. You may get hurt. Yes, that is also a reason for accident. While climbing the upstairs, you can get hurt. Yes, these are the reasons where there are chances we can meet with an accident. Another reason for the occurrence of accident is eating wrong medication. Yes, dear children, it's also very important to know. Yes, if a doctor has prescribed you some medicine, but if you are not taking it in a proper time and if you are not seeing the manufacture and expiry date, yes, and if you are not taking the proper advice of the doctor, yes, it can become poisonous and lead to deadly consequences. So, you should always take the medicine as prescribed by the doctors. Yes, and the last important reason for the accident is you go swimming for fun or you go swimming for learning. But sometimes misfortune can happen in water even. You may get drowned if you are careless. So these are certain reasons on regular basis where we can come across with an accident. Like just I said, playing with sharp objects like knives, your blades and scissors, while lightening your matchstick and firecrackers. Yes, and while you are on the roads. Yes, while crossing the roads, even a driver should be cautious. He should drive slowly and safely. And again, while climbing on the tree or climbing or running down the stairs, you can meet with an accident. Yes, and while taking wrong medication, it can be dangerous. It can be very deadly dangerous to you. So, and another is drowning case. So, these are the some common accidents. If we are becoming careless, we come across with these types of accidents. Yes. Now you got it. How accidents happen, what accidents can happen anywhere, anytime. Yes or no? Now, for all these accidents, to stop all these accidents, to avoid such accidents, yes, what we need to administer? We need to take the help of first aid. Here comes the first aid. To avoid such accidents, we need to administrate your first aid. As soon as I told first aid, the first thing that came in your mind is, yes, I am going to explain. Yes, dear my dear. I am going to explain what is first aid, which my mother gave to my hand, first aid. It's actually an immediate help. Yes, first aid is an immediate help to an injured person. Yes, to a sick or an injured person before the arrival of any doctor or before the arrival of any medical help. Yes, so what is a first aid? First aid is to immediate help. First aid is an immediate help given to a sick or injured person before the medical help arrives. Yes, so what is first aid? What is first aid? Yes, my dear children, what is first aid? It's actually an immediate help. It's actually an immediate help given to a sick or an injured person before the medical help arrives. Yes. So what are the reasons? So what is the main aim of first aid? Why we should give first aid? Yes, first reason, to save life. The most important aim of giving first aid is to save our lives. Yes, it's very true. It's very obvious that yes, to save the life, the immediate action is to give the first aid. Secondly, to make sure that, the conditions of sick or injured person doesn't get worse. Yes, we have to make the injured person in a comfortable zone until the medical help arrives. Yes, to make the injured person comfortable, we need to give the first aid. Yes, exactly. Yes, we don't want the situation to get worse. Yes, to avoid the worsened situation, we need to give immediate help. And that immediate help is nothing but giving first aid. Yes. Yes or no? So what is the main aim of first aid? First, the utmost important is to save the life of the sick or the injured person. Secondly, yes, to make the person comfortable until and unless the medical help arrives. Yes, and the most important thing, we don't want to get the situation worse. Yes, we want the person to be in a comfortable zone. Yes, so these are the aims of giving the first aid. Yes, suppose if a person don't know what is first aid. Yes, if a person don't know first aid, when to give the first aid, how to give the first aid, then definitely the person will become panic. Yes, if you don't know when to give the first aid, how to give the first aid, then definitely you will get panic or not. Yes or no? What I will do now, where to go, how to go, everything, every dreaded consequences comes to our mind or not. So if a person who don't know about first aid, when to give the first aid, how to give the first aid, he or she will become panic. Yes, so we must be aware of how to give first aid, when to give first aid. Yes, actually the main purpose of this chapter is to educate you children. To educate you children about first aid, when to give the first aid, how to give the first aid. Yes, the main objective of this chapter is to educate you about first aid and safety. Yes, so now the most important thing is that when to give first aid and when we should not give first aid. Two important things we have to keep in our mind now. Yes, when we should give first aid and when we should not give first aid. Yes, we should not give first aid. Yes, how? Let's see. So when we should give first aid? Come on, when we should give first aid? If the injury or if the wound or if the scratch is very small. Yes, if the scratch is very small, then immediately we can give the first aid. Yes? Yes or no? If you are sick with a normal fever or cold, we can have the regular medicines at home and for immediate help we can give. Yes? But afterwards you need to consult the doctor. Yes, for small scratches or for a tiny wound, we can give first aid. But where we should not give first aid, that's the most important thing you should learn. Where we should not give the first aid. Yes. Suppose if a person gets hurt deeply. Yes, but he is not bleeding. If the wound is pretty deep but the person is not bleeding, then definitely it's a serious issue. We need to consult the doctor immediately. At that time you can't give the first aid. Understood? If it's very simple tiny scratch, then immediately you can give the first aid. But if the wound is pretty deep and if the person is not bleeding but suffering from a loads of pain, then you understand that this is going to be a big problem and immediately you should seek for the help of the doctor. And in that case, you cannot do anything. Yes, you cannot give first aid if the person is not bleeding. Yes, rather suffering from a loads of pain. In case of fracture, the same thing happened. We can't give first aid, but the patient suffers with a lot of pain. So in such cases, we should not give first aid. Rather, we should consult the doctor immediately. Understood? When we should give first aid and when we should not give first aid. Yes? Now let's see what are the different first aid given to all these different types of accidents going on. Yes? So first one, I will draw a diagram and then you can easily see what are the different types of accidents and what are the different type of first aid given to different types of. Now let's study about how to give first aid in various situations. We need to learn what to give for the first aid when we come across such type of situation. Which type of situation? Either it may be cut and scratches. Yes, either it may be a cut or scratches or broken bone. Yes, for what first aid we should give while sprains. Yes, what first aid we should give while animal bite. Yes, what first aid we should give while bleeding from the nose and during fire accidents, during burns and while road accidents. So let's study what are the first aid we can give when we come across such type of accidents. The first one is your cut and scratches. What is the first one we have to study? Cut and scratches. What first aid we can give for cut and scratches? First thing, yes, if it is a minor scratch, yes, if it's a minor scratch while playing, if you got small scratches, yes, you are understanding? If it is a small scratch or tiny scratch or minor scratch, the first thing you have to go and wash your hand properly with an antiseptic. Yes, because we don't want the germs of our hand to enter into the wound of the injured person. Yes, first thing what you are going to do? Wash your hands. Yes, well, you should first wash your hands with an antiseptic because we don't want the germs to enter into the wound. We don't want the situation to be worse. So first of all, what you are going to do? Whenever you come across a small scratch, immediately go and wash your hand with an antiseptic and then clean the scratch or wound with water. Yes, clean the scratch with water or antiseptic. Yes, clean the scratch with antiseptic. Make it dry with a clean cotton cloth. And once it is dry, put some antiseptic. Yes. So if you are going to meet with small scratches or tiny wounds, first thing what you will go and do, children? Washing your hands with an antiseptic. Because we don't want the germs to enter into the wound of the injured person. It will become very worse situation then. So, my dear children, first of all, go and wash your hands. Then wash the wound with an antiseptic and make it dry with a clean cotton cloth. And then, after it, apply the antiseptic cream. Yes, if it's a minor scratch. But, if you are going to have some small wounds, and you are bleeding. Yes, you get hurt and it's bleeding. Then what you will do? The same thing. First you will go and wash your hand with an antiseptic and then wash the wound with antiseptic. Yes, then wash the wound with antiseptic and make it dry with a cotton cloth. Put the antiseptic cream and tie a bandage or plaster. Just like this. Tie a bandage or a plaster. Yes, if the wound is small but it's bleeding. Remember, if the wound is small but it's bleeding, wash it with antiseptic, make it dry with a clean cotton cloth and after drying, put some antiseptic and either you can put a plaster or a bandage over the wound to heal. Yes. This is but if a person get hurt severely, if the wound is continuously bleeding, then what you will have to do? You have to take a cotton pad and put it over the wound until the bleeding stops. Yes, until the bleeding stops. Yes, and still, if the bleeding is not stopped, then you can use a big bandage and tie it around 2 to 3, 4 times. Wrap it 2 to 3, 4 times. Make it a knot. Yes, until you reach the doctor. Yes, after which the doctor will open that bandage and examine the wound, whether it's a serious wound, whether the patient or the injured person needs stitches or not. The doctor will only decide. At that time, you can't do anything. Understood? If it's a minor cut or it's a minor scratch, for everything you need to be sanitized. Yes, you need to wash your hand properly with antiseptic. And if it's a minor scratch, then wash it properly. Yes, dry it with a cotton clean cloth, and after drying, put the antiseptic. It's a small wound but it's bleeding. Again the same technique. Wash it with your antiseptic, put the antiseptic powder and try to heal it by using a plaster or your bandage. But if the wound is severe, it's a pretty deep and the person is continuously bleeding, the first thing what you have to do is to put the cotton pad over the wound until it stops bleeding. And if at all it's not stopped, then please take a bandage, tie that bandage for 2 to 3 times or wrap it for 2 to 3 times and make it a knot until you reach the doctor or until you receive a medical help. And the doctor will only examine and say whether that patient needs stitches or not. And finally, the most important thing, you need to take a tetanus injection that will help you heal soon. Yes. So these are some of the measures. These are some of the first aid you need to learn while you come across a cut and scratches. Yes, when you come across a cut and scratches. So in the next session, we will learn about the various types of first aid to be given during your sprains, broken bones, animal bites, burns. Until then, I have an activity for you. You can prepare your own first aid. Yes, go and prepare a first aid. Okay. Let me show my first aid box. All of us are having a first aid box at our home or not? In schools, even first aid box is there. In buses, everywhere we should have a first aid box. And what I am having in my first aid box, I am going to show you. Yes. This is my first aid box. Yes, dear children, can you see it? This is my first aid box. Yes, what is there inside the first aid box? Let me show you. The very first thing is an antiseptic. Yes, I am having some bandages. Yes, I am having a general cough syrup. Then some common medicines we used to have at our home. And the most important thing, I am having a thermometer to check the temperature if someone gets fever. It's very necessary of having a thermometer at home in your first aid box. I have some cottons, some ear drops and eye drops on regular basis. So these are some common things that we used to keep in our first aid box. You can prepare at your home your own first aid box. Yes. Please go for it. Try to make your own first aid box and send me the pictures in my WhatsApp. Yes? So this is my first aid. With this, we come to an end of today's session. Let's meet again with another session of first aid. Bye.